Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul joined alongside Robert Ziggy Ziegler at the University of Virginia. And Ziggy, the news that we've been waiting for, or that a lot of Packers fans have been waiting for, the entire offseason finally happened Friday night, 10 o'clock. Of course, I'm out in New York City, and then I look down at my phone. Jordan Love, 4 years, $220 million, the largest contract in the history of the National Football League. He's the highest paid player ever, $75 million signing bonus, biggest signing bonus ever. And of course, this happens on a Friday night when we can't do an instant reaction. So we go, okay, all right, we'll try and get a quick video on short.
Jordan Love has heard that we're becoming big with Packers fans, that we're getting traction, and we're Vikings fans. So just to spite us, because who on earth would sign a big contract Friday at like 9 p.m., which is what he did. This was targeted at us, at the Paul Farrington Show.
Felt targeted. It felt targeted. And then we record this morning, that video file gets corrupted. So this has been the reaction from hell for the Paul Farrington Show. I don't think there's any other way that Jordan Love or Packers fans would want it. But let's do a little bit more. We'll dive into the contract and what's going to happen because of it right now. So
we've got the full details on Jordan Love's contract. Actually, you haven't heard it from very many places. We've got our sources. We've got them right here. What's fully guaranteed, the payout structure, all of it.
You're more of a contract guy than I like just looking. I'm a more big picture kind of, but you're so good at diving into the details, Ziggy. So we'll hit on all of it here. Of course, the big thing to take away here is that, we're going off of that 10-game sample size still. And that's what everyone's going to be talking about. But over the final 10 games, 7-3 record, almost 70% completion percentage for Love, 261 passing yards per game, 23-3. That's really the number that everyone circles. The 23-3 touchdown to interception ratio that Love had over those final 10 games. Does that warrant the biggest contract in NFL history? To the Packers, it did. And I believe that they made the right choice in giving Love this extension. It sounds like you do as well, right?
Well, Paul, I wanted to get myself in the minds of the Green Bay Packers and the Packers fans. So clearly they're infatuated, right? So I had to put on the I Love Love shirt, available at paulfarringtonshow.com. But this really helped me get into thinking of what the Packers might be thinking. And I'll tell you what's going on. From the outside, all we've seen, you're right, it looks like it's that 10-game sample size of a mediocre first half of the season. Mm-hmm. But internally for the Packers, things are very different. And if you look at how players and coaches talk about him, especially right before and right after the signing, they've said they've seen it the whole time. Since they drafted him, he's been a hard worker. He's consistently improved. He makes incredible no-look passes in practice. They knew from day one they could trust him with coordinating the offensive line protection. A lot of quarterbacks in the NFL don't do that. Matthew Stafford doesn't do that with Sean McVay, right? Teams are moving away from asking quarterbacks to do that. The Packers trust Jordan Love so much in 2-minute drills, they want him calling his own plays now. So when you combine the cerebral aspect with all of the physical talents we see, I don't think the Packers feel like they're making a decision on a small sample size. I think they're saying what every Packers fan has been telling us this offseason. The beginning of the season wasn't his fault. There were a lot of young receivers, a lot of new guys around him who weren't doing things right. He took him in. He was a leader from the first play he did. And sure enough, you saw the results very quickly.
Yeah, no, and that's one thing we've talked about. You could find, it's similar across all our Packers videos over really the past, 6 months, basically, is that Jordan Love and Green Bay have been doing things the right way every single time. Like every single thing you see from Jordan Love has been something where if you're a Packer fan, you go, I'm happy that guy's leading my team. So yeah, 100% agree with you that it's not just an investment in those 10 games. It's the work ethic that they've seen, the growth, especially. When Jordan Love first came in, remember all the little articles leaking is like, doesn't look good. He does not look good at all. First 9 games he played, didn't look that good. And he's just continued to get better and better and better until all of a sudden flipped the switch last year. And now you have the actual play to go along with the person Jordan Love that everybody can't speak highly enough. It's always sunshine and rainbows for Green Bay. I just saw an article come out that said the Packers are on, an unprecedented quarterback run in history. And it is funny the more you think about it. This really is the culmination of, we believe Love is that third Hall of Famer that we might potentially have here. Because now they put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, the Packers have always during this run. Now Jordan Love's the third quarterback they're hopeful will grow into an all-timer. But they've always taken quarterbacks that the rest of the league hasn't been so hot on, trusted in them, given them time, and let them do their thing. Right? They took Brett Favre from the Falcons. They saw something most of the rest of the league didn't, turned him into a great player. Aaron Rodgers infamously slipped really far in the draft. The Packers scooped him right up, said, "We're going to give you a few years, you're going to learn, and then you're going to be great." Jordan Love was what? He was the fourth quarterback taken in his draft?
Yeah. No,
and weverybody said,
yeah.
Or was it fifth?
It might I think it was fourth. Well, there's Tua, Herbert, Burrow, right?
Yeah.
And then him, then Hurts.
Yeah. So he was fourth in that draft. So already not at the top of people's lists. And they did something even weirder, letting him sit for years when every other team wants to put their quarterback out there as soon as possible. And it worked, it seems.
Yeah, everything about the Jordan Love situation is a little unique, just from not playing for so long, the bad start, the small sample size of greatness. It's nothing. You look at all the other quarterbacks getting extensions this offseason. You got Lawrence, you got Tua, you got Goff. These are guys that within their system, specifically for their teams, have shown. Goff was a year and a half, but it was a year and a half of really good football from Jared Goff. Now it's Tua's been there for years. Lawrence has been playing for years. Those GMs, those coaches had a little bit more in terms of real game footage to go off of than just the 10-game sample size, the one season for Love. So it's kind of weird. You can't really compare it too much, but here he is. We're talking about the top 5 paid guys in the league. It's Love and Burrow and Lawrence one, then Tua, then Jared Goff. Kind of crazy, right? How volatile the quarterback market is in terms of like every single year it's getting so big that your highest paid guys right now are Lawrence, Tua, Goff, Love. Like no Mahomes, no Allen, no Lamar. It's it's crazy.
But this is exactly why the Packers ultimately had to sign him and couldn't wait longer, right? You wait a year. I mean, we've seen athletes first. So they will go hard in the paint to get their guys paid. Jordan Love would have been signing if he put together a Pro Bowl season, which I think is what Packers fans are expecting and what the organization's expecting. 60 million, 65 million. Who knows where that would have gone, right? So it's better to sign him to a deal now where you hope everything goes well, and they've got a lot of reason to believe it will. But you can get out in 2 or 3 years without too much trouble, without too much cost if things don't go your way. I don't think this deal has a lot of risk to sink the Packers if it doesn't work out. But if it does, you get 4 more years of Jordan Love. You sign him to another extension in 2 or 3 years, and you ride that gravy train, hopefully to a Super Bowl.
So we were talking about gravy train to a Super Bowl. We were talking a little bit about the cap hits that Love's going to have with the Packers over the next few years and what the window for Green Bay is. It's going to be, if Love works out the way people are expecting, it's like Joe Burrow, what he said, I am the window, basically, as long as I'm here, we'll have a shot. That should probably translate over to Green Bay as well. But in terms of like the Packers' best chances and things like that, right now really is like now's the time. And it's crazy how quick it happened. But if you sit back and analyze the landscape of the Packers and the NFL as a whole, for the Packers specifically, got a lot of young, talented players, guys that are probably, I don't think any of them are a sure thing right now, but guys that are probably going to demand some bigger contracts in the near future. On the other side, in terms of the NFC, it's kind of there for the taking right now. San Francisco, I still think, is a head above everyone at the moment. But
Packers could have beaten them last year.
Yeah, but Green Bay had them. Like that game, they should have gone to the NFC Championship game. So if you're Green Bay, you can go, all right, we have everyone. The shot is there. Like, let's do it right now. And it's unbelievable that that's the case. Would you agree, though, that right now is kind of, like a window's open for Green Bay the next 2-3 years here?
It's what we've seen so far is Jordan Love elevating players around him. As long as he can continue to do that, in one sense, the window is open, but windows can be said in lots of different ways.
Yeah.
Right now, you've got a team with young, hungry players where everyone wants to win, full of momentum, trending up. They've got a coach they like. They're hopeful that Jeff Hafley will make the defense a little bit better. Like, there's a lot of momentum for the Packers going into this season. This is as good a shot, I think, as they could reasonably hope for. That's not to say that in 3 years they'll be picking first in the draft. It's definitely not anything like that if Jordan Love is good. But always in the NFL, no matter how good your team is, there's years you're better, there's years you're worse. And when things are good, you have to strike and try and take advantage of that. The Packers certainly seem to be doing so. But yeah, they're in a tough division, especially if either Caleb Williams or JJ McCarthy's any good. The Lions should continue to be good. So that hurts a little bit. But yeah, they're as good a team as any, I think, in the NFC for the next couple of years.
Dude, I'm looking at these graphics right now. Here's the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. To my left, I have his stats broken down from the first 9 games, the final 10 games. And I'm just looking at those first 9 games, remembering how happy that we were.
Fans, they can go. People who are watching the show can go back and look. We were cheering. Jordan Love's over. We were lamenting that Caleb Williams might be going to Green Bay. Said, the Jordan Love experiment's busted. Bye-bye, Jordan Love. There's a little reel of me saying that.
If you told me when the Packers were 2-5 that I'd be looking at graphics with, I mean, look at this right now. Here's Jordan Love flexing with the highest paid quarterback in the history of football. I would have said something like someone's pranking me right now. This can't be real. And here,
yeah, I mean, the prank is that Jordan Love threw for like 20 touchdowns and 1 interception over 10 games while obliterating one of the best defenses in the NFL. That's the joke.
It's sickening.
When things start looking bad for the Packers, Jordan Love just becomes Superman. I don't get it.
It's honestly, I'm at a loss for words. You see the Viking stuff here, like it. We also, this is what we expected, right? $55 million a year. That's kind of what we came in at. We thought maybe they'd get him up to 56-ish around there, just to have sole possession of highest paid player in the league on a per year basis. But the number comes in at 55. I think that's a good number. By the time all these other contracts start getting done, as we said, might even wind up looking cheap. Who knows where the quarterback market will go just over the course of the next few years. Like CJ Stroud, is it possible to think CJ Stroud could be getting $65 million by the time he's there? Probably, right?
I mean, Jordan Love is making 30% more than Josh Allen, just about.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous market. At some point, you have to think that it'll kind of balance out a little bit more. It'll come down.
Why?
But
I don't think so.
I know, but it's just at some point you have to imagine. It depends. The NFL is going to keep making money, though. Who knows what people are going to be making? I saw like a report about NBA guys, just like Anthony Edwards could make $95 million a year or something like that in a few years. It's just ridiculous, these contracts. But look, congratulations to Jordan Love. I mean, he's the most important figure in the history of our YouTube channel. He's the only reason that people listen, or the only reason that we're at the 11,000 number right now, and helping us have the potential to grow over the course of this upcoming season. So we're happy for him. It sucks that the Packers are going to be good.
You're happy for him. I want Packers fans to sit back here and understand. Imagine what it would feel like. Like, this is the most Vikings thing ever, right?
Yeah.
Us Vikings fans just living out the Vikings fantasy. We start a YouTube channel. We're making some momentum, and it's only by being like, it's the monkey's paw, right? I want to gain 1,000 subscribers. All right, but Jordan Love becomes the highest paid player in NFL history. It's like, come on, man. Come on.
The price you pay.
But no, I mean, I got nothing against Jordan Love. By all accounts, it seems like he's a good guy. But JJ McCarthy needs to get paid more than him in a few years. That's what I want to see.
You know how these stories work out, man. you know how it goes for us.
I want to believe.
Misery, misery, misery. That's our motto. All right, so there you have it, the Jordan Love reaction. Again, congratulations to Jordan Love, a very, very well deserved promotion, a bump. And we'll see what happens this upcoming season. All there is now is for him to prove that he's worth it. And with that does come increased pressure. There's absolutely going to be expectations now in Green Bay. Part of real quick before we go, I said this when we recorded it originally before losing the file, but part of what made last season's run so magical for Packers fans was that it came out of nowhere. Again, you were 2-5. Love didn't look very good, and then out of nowhere you go on this fantasy run into the nearly to the NFC Championship game. But now there are expectations. Now you sit back and you look at Love and go, all right, like, got to get us back to the playoffs at the very least. Got to get us maybe to the divisional round, and we'll see how that pressure affects him. I don't think it will, but expectations and it changes things.
Yeah, so there's tape out on Jordan Love now, and teams will be expecting it. They beat the Chiefs in Green Bay fair and square. I'm not saying they didn't, but now that would be a game that the Chiefs have circled from week one of we've got to be 100% ready, on board, ready to beat Jordan Love and the Packers. When presumably when they saw the Packers were 2-5, they thought, whatever, this will be an easy game.
Yeah, the target's on the back now, and that's
yeah. So responding to that pressure, I have no doubt Jordan Love will. The thing about a contract like this is, in order to do well with it, Jordan Love has to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. That is the standard now. Year in, year out, that's the expectation. He has to be a perennial MVP candidate. What we saw last year, he has the potential to do that, but the pressure's on. The time is now for Green Bay. That is their belief, and we'll see if they're able to do it.
Well, there you have it, the Jordan Love contract reaction show. We'll have more on Tuesday when Jack and Zach and the whole gang are back together. But yeah, nothing left now except to go watch football on Sundays and see if he backs up the contract. But again, congrats to Jordan Love. Congrats to the Packers fans on another star. It's never ends. We'll see you next time.